Welcome back, ladies and gents. We have episode number 9 coming at you. Let's get straight into it. Number one game I want to talk about here. Number one game I want to talk about is Eagles Seahawks. Not really ranked, but this is the first game on the list. Jalen Hurts had a terrible game. At least throwing the ball. He had a horrible game throwing it. 17 for 31, 143 yards. Now, rushing, he had a really great game. Now, 13 carries, 82 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the young man. Wasn't enough, though, because of one man. His name's Drew Lock from the Broncos, lighting it up. 22 for 33, 208 yards, and a tug. From Drew Lock, of all people. Drew Lock. Unbelievable from him. Kenneth Walker had a great game when he has probably in like the last 6 games hasn't really had a great game. 19 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown. He was the bell cow that game. Controls the clock. Seahawks game-winning drive. The touchdown that Drew Lock has is that one to Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's unbelievable. Both are. I think Njigba's going to be a great wide receiver one day. And Drew Lock, if you saw that ball had to be placed right there. Not really much room for error. And Njigba torquing his body and coming. If you watch the Rose Bowl with Utah and Ohio State, they showed the clips on some social media. It looked like the same catch. It was an unbelievable catch. Got 2 feet in, touchdown, pretty much game over. Seahawks are now in the conversation for a playoff spot. They were, but I mean, they were on a skid. Now you get a big win. Now you need to go out and finish the season strong. You got 3 games left. Finish it. 20-17 your final score out of Seattle. Packers Bucks. Now you might be wondering why on God's green earth are we talking about this game? Because Baker Mayfield had an historic day, and this has some playoff implications to it. Bucks are now the 4th seed, and I think they are firmly cemented there unless they just lose all 3 the rest of their games. Packers, it's a real shame that the Packers probably won't make the playoffs. I think they're the 11th seed now. Yeah, they're the 11th seed. They're 6-8. You're really not going to make a playoff spot. And you have the Lions this week. I don't see it happening. Let's get into the game. Baker Mayfield, 22 for 28. Insane completion percentage. 4 touchdowns and 381 yards. Really? From a guy everybody wrote off, from a guy who went from the Browns, got them to their first playoff in a long time, went to the Panthers, tried to revive that, didn't. Went to the Rams, had that historic game-winning drive against the Raiders on Thursday Night Football. And then now doing this, now getting the Bucks to a 7-7 record and pretty much firmly in the playoffs. Jordan Love. Now, Jordan Love is not the best quarterback Green Bay's ever seen, but he's a serviceable one. He's pretty damn good. For Jordan Love, for this Packers team, he's pretty good. He's doing now. You've got 6 wins, but don't worry. Don't blow it up yet, Green Bay, because you've got good enough players. You just got to get there. You got to draft some guys. You're not completely there, but Jordan Love's I don't really think is a huge problem. He went 29 for 39, 284 yards and 2 touchdowns for him. Rashad White continues to play well. 21 carries and 89 yards for him. Chris Godwin, good Lord, did he have a day. 10 receptions, 155 yards, and a 34-20 Bucks victory at Lambeau. That's wild. It's just insane what the Bucks are doing. 7-7 record. They are the 4 seed. Yeah, 4 seed behind the Lions. Bucks could make some noise. I think their defense is good enough. Their offense struggles at times. Now you get a game like this from their offense, then you can get another game where you're like, whoa, the hell happened? They got to figure out a little consistency. We're going to go to the Bears now. I did say in the latest episode that the Bears would make the playoffs or could make the playoffs. That dream is now done. Bears fans are now looking to the draft, the offseason, free agency, which is, I thought they were a good enough team. I guess they blinded me by how good they played against the Lions. Let's get into the next game. Number 3, Cowboys, Bills. Dak Prescott didn't have a great day. 21 for 34, 134 yards, and an interception. Now, before we jump the gun on the Cowboys, I've seen a lot of people saying that, they're frauds, they're not good, they can't beat a good team. They beat the Seahawks, granted at home, and they beat the Cowboys. They beat the Eagles. Now, the problem with the Cowboys is they don't play well on the road. They don't, ever. We saw this when they played the Bills. Also, the MVP conversation. He's still there. He's still in the MVP conversation. I think he's number 2 next to Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy obviously is there because he's just very consistent. But he's still there. He's still great. He's still at an unbelievable season. And they've made the playoffs for, don't know, like 3 or 4 years in a row. James Cook. Whoa. 25 carries, 179 yards, and a touchdown. That's insane. In a 31-10 Bills victory, the Cowboys fans need to realize that this is not the end of the world. You've got 3 games left to prove that you can contend. You're still a top 5 team. There's not a lot of teams that can compete with you on the field. I mean, the Bills, let's not forget that the Bills are still a good team. They're not great. They're very inconsistent. They're a very good team at home, and that is a tough place to play. The Bills are still a good team. But hear me out now. 8-6, they're probably going to make the playoffs. I have to check their schedule and see who else they play, but I mean, I really don't see. The Colts are at 7. So let's roll over this really quick. Colts at 7, Texans, and then Bills. I can see them making the playoffs. I think they're a better team than the Colts. They just haven't lost as many games. Let's move on. Ravens, Jags, a top 4 matchup in the AFC. And the Ravens show why they are the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they probably will be going into the playoffs. Lamar didn't have a great day. He had I don't want to say average, a little above average. Not great throwing the ball. 14 for 24, 171 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Not great. Not awesome. Trevor Lawrence had a pretty good day. 25 for 43, 264 yards and a touchdown. Lamar running, I think that helped his case a lot, is his legs every time. I think the thing about the Ravens is their defense is just otherworldly, so they're going to win games. Look, they gave up 7 to a Jags offense that is off the charts good. Top 5 offense, they give up 7. That's how good that defense is. Lamar, 12 carries, 97 yards on the ground. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never heard of these damn receivers that went off. Isaiah Likely, 5 receptions, 70 yards and a touchdown. Jamal Agnew with 2 receptions, 70 yards, and 1 touchdown. The biggest problem with the Ravens was in all sports, inconsistency. You play great, you don't. You play great, you don't. That defense has continued to play great. They're going to be an issue in the playoffs. They get after the quarterback. They can create turnovers. That offense just needs to get going. They don't have a lot of talent on that offensive side of the ball. They've got Lamar. They've got Gus Edwards. They've got Zay Flowers, OBJ. They've got some talent. They just need to put it together. If they can put that offense together and start putting up 20, 30 points a game, you're looking at your next Super Bowl champs. But they haven't yet. I mean, you put up 23. I mean, that's good. But they haven't been doing that. That offense is pretty inconsistent. 23-7 win for the Ravens as they already clinched, but they have pretty much clinched their spot as the number one seed going into the playoffs for the AFC. Now, we're going to get into the playoff picture because we've got 3 weeks left of football. And especially in the NFC, this could shake out I would say from 5 to 7 in both conferences could shake out very differently from what they are right now. I'm pretty sure the top 4 is going to stay, other than maybe the Cowboys and the Eagles. I think everybody else wins their division. Let's get into it. Your top 7: Ravens at 1, Dolphins, Jags. No, sorry, Ravens, Dolphins, Chiefs, Jags. Those are your division leaders. Chiefs get a big win versus the Patriots. Dolphins beat the brakes off the Jets, 30-0. Ravens, as we talked about, beat the Jags. I just don't think we're gonna talk about the Chiefs. I really don't think the Chiefs look as good as they are. They're a good team. They just don't look the part a lot. Like in the Bills game, they had that stupid penalty that cost them the game. They probably could be the 2 seed right now, but they're not. You're going to be playing the Bengals, or no? I think you might be playing, the Bengals, who are a tough team. The Jags got to figure something out there. I don't know what's happening with them, but they were playing really great and then kind of fell off the map. The Browns getting a big win versus the who they played? The Bears, right? The Bears. They played the Bears with a backup quarterback. I think let's go down and see. Ravens have their starter. Dolphins, Chiefs, Jags. Browns have a backup. Bengals have a backup. Colts have a backup. Steelers have, or no, Broncos. Okay, no. Browns, Bengals, Colts. The 3 teams in the playoffs all have backups. And the Raiders do too. Bengals. They're coming out of nowhere with this backup quarterback. They're coming out of nowhere. Jake Browning is an animal. They're at 6. Browns are at 5. Colts. Gardner Minshew, the stash, at 7. And you got the Texans, Bills, Steelers, and Broncos left. If I had to predict, I don't think the Colts keep it up. I think one team gets in. I don't think the Bengals are going to, they might slip, but with 3 games left, I think they're pretty firmly set there. If I had to pick a team, unfortunately, I have to say the Bills, man. I mean, maybe the Texans can pull it off. They lost Tank Dell. Nico Collins is not, I don't know if he's fully healthy. CJ Stroud is, I think, on concussion protocol. I'd have to say the Bills, unless the Steelers or Broncos pull out an absolute miracle. But I would have the Bills at 7. They'd be playing the Dolphins. So I think the Bills could easily win that game too. Let's go to the NFC. NFC is the Niners, the best team in the league. The Cowboys at 2. Just the Cowboys shouldn't be at 2. It's just because the damn Eagles suck. Lions at 3. Bucks at 4. Now, the Lions, we haven't really talked about the Lions. They've kind of flown under the radar. They need to figure it out. They're playing the Vikings. They can knock the Vikings out of the playoffs. But I'm pretty sure they're a lock for a playoff spot. I think they're a lock for 3. I don't think they lose their division to anybody. Um, Bucks at 4. I think they're a pretty good team. I don't think they're great. The Cowboys, I think the team you're going to see coming out of the NFC is between Niners, Cowboys, and Eagles. And if you look at it, the Niners have beaten both those teams. They beat the Cowboys at home, and then they beat the Eagles away. So, Cowboys and Eagles got a long road to beat the Titans of the NFC. Now, if I'm going to predict, I would say as of now, you're seeing a 49ers. AFC is a lot more difficult. Dolphins are good. Ravens are good. Chiefs, I don't see anybody else but those top 3 teams getting out of there. The problem with the Chiefs is you never can underestimate them. They're so good in the playoffs. As of now, I'm going to say the Chiefs because I don't know. It's like Brady and the Patriots. You can never count them out. So at 5, you've got the Eagles in the NFC. Rams, Vikings. Now with the Rams, they are hot, red hot. Now with Stafford back and Cup and Williams and Nakua and that defense, they're hot. Vikings, they're just holding on by a thread. They're just grasping at a playoff spot right now. I think the Seahawks get in. Honestly, I don't see Saints, Falcons, or Packers getting in. I think the Seahawks get in. Rams are in there as well. So as it stands, as of now, if the NFL season ended today, you would have the Dolphins playing the Colts, Chiefs playing the Bengals, and the Jags and Browns. Then in the NFC, you're going to have, if it ended today, you're going to have 49ers, Vikings, Cowboys, Rams. Wait, sorry. No. Cowboys, Vikings. My bad. Niners going to buy. Cowboys, Vikings, Lions, Rams, Bucks, Eagles. I mean, the Niners, like, the thing about the Niners is there's so much talent on that field. Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, um, Chase Young, I think. Chase Young? That might be wrong. I don't know. The defensive end from Washington. Um, and on offense, you got McCaffrey, Purdy, Ayuk, Samuel, Kittle. There's just so much talent all around the field. And if you're playing them at their place, it's going to be even tougher. In my opinion, the only reason the Eagles made the Super Bowl last year is because Purdy got hurt. If Purdy doesn't get hurt, I think they win that game. They're that good. Um, but if I had to make a bold take, which we'll make one. We'll make a bold take. I mean, you could kind of say the bold take's got the Chiefs. I've got Chiefs in the AFC. I can't say that. Browns got a backup. Bengals got a backup. It's between those top 4 teams. I can't pick. I mean, if anything, I'd say Ravens Chiefs would be your AFC championship, and it'd be at Ravens. I can't say the Eagles. Cowboys maybe. It would just depend because they're gonna get Niners are gonna get home field advantage. It's just who's gonna play them better. Who's got a better team, Cowboys or Eagles? You could look at that defensively. I think it's I think it's Dallas. I think they're pretty even on defense. Just offensively, as of recently, it's been the Cowboys on offense. The Eagles haven't been playing great on offense. They scored 17 points against the Seahawks. I don't see if I'm gonna go off of even the Lions. I don't think the Lions are gonna make it. Who they have to play? They play the Rams. And then they go, I don't think the Lions beat the Cowboys, Eagles, or Niners. And out of the Eagles and Cowboys, I would have to say it'd be the Cowboys. They beat them in their latest matchup. They almost beat them in Philly. I'd have to go with the Cowboys and the Niners. And you obviously know who wins that. It'd be the Niners in the NFC title. They'd be in the Super Bowl, and I don't think anybody beats the Niners. If I had to pick, I already did pick my Super Bowl champ. It's the Niners. They're that good. My Super Bowl prediction right now, as of week 15, which it's week 16, but week 15, 49ers are your Super Bowl champs. Now, Texans, Seahawks are on the bubble. Seahawks played a great game. Texans, they had an overtime win versus the Titans. Ravens could be a dark horse there. They're the number one seed. They played great all year. But I see the Niners. They're too good. On that note, ladies and gents, this is being recorded late. I think it's being recorded on a Friday. So we'll get this out either today or Saturday, depending on what's going on. College football episode. We may be late on episodes because next week, Christmas, all that family stuff is going on. We may be a little late on that. We'll figure it out. I may have to record Saturday or Sunday. But college football episode will be coming out. We're going to cover everything in one video. All the transfer portal, commits, Florida State wanting to go out of the ACC, all that stuff. We're going to cover it all in one episode, wrap it up in a bow, and send it off for you all to watch. NFL episode is going to be around the same time. I may just record them in the same day and post them whenever. But that is episode 9. We will put this out either today or tomorrow, Friday or Saturday. We will see you in the next one.